set up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand in the way. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Happy Thursday, Buckeye fans. It's a great day to be a Buckeye. And for Timmy Hall, I am Ryan Baker. And sitting to my right, former Buckeye, national champion, the real number 23, Tyvis Powell. One Tyvis Powell.
Hey, you know what, Baker? So, listen, I obviously, as you know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I tend to go up to Cleveland. I got to do the Cleveland show. Well, today, I had to throw an extra wrinkle in my schedule because my kids had doctor's appointments. And me and my wife are just not great parents because we have not found them doctors down here. So they still go to Worcester to do their appointments. I found out that my kids, they are still in the 99 percentile in everything. Height, weight, head, everything. And it's amazing to me.
They're healthy.
Well, yeah, but why are they so big? Like, so my mother-in-law does babysitting, and she had some 2-year-olds over there. And I measured my 2-year-old versus those 2-year-olds, and then she like double their size. my daughter's doubled the size of a normal 2-year-old, so like it's gonna be quite interesting to see how things pan out with them.
Well, I mean, their dad is a good-sized human. I mean, you're what, 6'4"?
6'3"?
6'3".
But that's to me, that's not that tall. Like when you get 6'5" and up, like that's when it's like that dude's tall.
What is the average male? The average male is like 5'10", I believe, isn't it?
It ain't 6 feet.
No, it's not even close to 6 feet.
Bodie, are you 6 feet?
5'11".
He's close.
Throw some shoes on me, though, and I could definitely lie. Say I'm 6 foot.
Well,
Put Bodie in some heels. He's 6 foot.
Yeah, maybe 6'1" even in heels. They're thick enough.
But yeah. And my wife's she's like 5'7", so like at some point
It's pretty tall for a girl. Between you and her,
Yeah, I mean, we know why your kids
you got
are
a couple
so big
basketball
now.
players on your hands, Tyvis.
5'7" is that tall for
a girl? I mean, it's definitely taller.
What's the average height of a woman? 5'2"?
Probably somewhere in that 5'2", 5'4" range, I would guess.
I would think it's 5'4",
5'7" is definitely pretty tall
somewhere
for
in
a
there.
girl, I
I
would
think
say,
5'7"
for the
is
average
pretty good
girl.
size.
Well, if my kids hit 6 foot, I'll be shocked. I think they'll plateau at like 5'9", something like that.
No, they'll get there.
We'll see.
It's what they put in the water and the meat nowadays, right? That's why these kids grow so darn big.
That's what I hear.
Tyvis, we've got a fun show tonight. We're going to get into some Buckeye football things here, who we think the MVP is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did this defense need fixed? Is it fixed? Some fun things we'll get into, and some Buckeyes up for individual awards as well. We will talk about that. But coming up in the second hour, and you heard us talk a little bit about this if you were on for the end of Man and Bone, but the Ohio State men's soccer team is playing for their first Big Ten championship in 15 seasons.
Yeah.
09 was the last time that the men's team won a Big Ten soccer championship. They take on Michigan over at the Jesse Owens, 3 o'clock on Sunday.
It's a home game for us.
So we will have their head coach, Brian Maisonneuve, on. He's going to join us at around 7:20. So make sure you stick around for that.
I need to look at when the last time the Wolverines won it in Big Ten.
Well, you should have told me to check that because I had the list up earlier, and I could have looked and seen.
Well, you know, I could care less about them. I mean, but like I just want to see what we're up against here. Like, is this one of those teams that's won it for like 4 straight years? Like, is this something like that? Like, that's the only reason I ask.
And no, they haven't. I think Indiana is probably where Brian Maisonneuve played his college soccer, was at Indiana, and he was an assistant coach in Indiana before he came to Ohio State as head soccer coach. I think Indiana is the team that has won the most, it looks like, in the history. Okay. And in fact, right here, it just came up, Indiana has won 16 Big Ten men's soccer titles. So
yeah, well, we got a long way to go. Well, it starts Sunday.
Also, the Buckeye men, the hoops team, they have gotten off to a pretty good start here, 2-0. They've got a big one tomorrow night.
Yeah,
number 21, Ohio State versus number 23, Texas A&M. 9 p.m. tip tomorrow night. Former Ohio State assistant and current ESPN Plus college basketball analyst Dave Cecutti is going to join us at 7:30 to talk a little bit about Jake Diebler's Buckeye basketball team.
Can't wait to do that, actually. It's a very exciting time. I know Timmy Hall is excited right now from what he's seeing from these Buckeye basketball team.
I think a lot of people are
Men
excited
and women,
right
men
now,
and
right?
women. Both of them are rolling, and they both have had moments where I'm like, yes.
How about Jelani Cambridge, speaking of the women's team?
She was a home run.
Her first game,
31 points, only missed one shot.
she did something. I'd have to look up the stat because there were so many things involved in it, but she did something that nobody has ever done in any basketball history, college or professional history. It was like she scored over 30 points, over 5 assists, over 5 rebounds, shot over 80%. It was a ridiculous thing, but nobody in the history of hoops had ever done it.
Yeah. She's special. Then the next, you follow it up, the next one. She broke the record, 9 threes, right?
That was not her.
No,
that
not
was,
her.
Chance Gray.
Yeah, Chance Gray.
Yeah.
But it was 9 threes in a game.
9 threes.
And then I seen the first game, Cody was 4 for 5 from 3. I said, but Guff got y'all over there shooting this.
Cody is obviously not this good, but Cody reminds me of a female LeBron and how when she puts her head down,
she
she's
can't be
getting to the
stopped.
hoop,
Yeah,
and you
she-
are not stopping
That's
her.
correct.
It is insane.
She plays bully ball for sure.
By the way, the last time Michigan won a Big Ten men's soccer tournament, 2010.
So the year after.
So 1 year
Oh,
closer.
this is going to
so
be
this is going to be
must-see
good
TV.
on Saturday for sure. Tyvis, this game this week at Wrigley for Ohio State has caused quite a stir. One, the whole fact that it's at Wrigley, and two, this whole
Where are you at on
noon game thing.
Where are you at on the Wrigley field?
Well, let's get into that in a little bit. I want to
Okay.
talk about that in a little bit with some things. But you and I were texting last night and this morning about some things. And the Buckeye team, obviously, 3 more games left in the regular season. And we hope quite a few more after that. We hope a Big Ten championship game. And then we hope a nice run in the playoffs. So they're right about, if they go all the way, they're right about the halfway point of their season.
Yes.
And if you look at this team so far, Tyvis, and you had to choose an MVP, and I think everybody would say Will Howard, so maybe we've got to take Will Howard
take him
out of the equation. If you had to choose an MVP for this team, who would that be?
Whew. Okay, I got two names on offense, and I got 2 names on defense, but I could only pick one, right?
Yeah, pick one. I mean, you can give one for each side of the ball if you want.
See, that's tough. The MVP. I mean, the easy answer is Jeremiah Smith. I mean, that's an easy answer because of all the things that he's done this year. I mean, he's been a guy that's come right in and made an immediate impact. He's broke the freshman records on all these things. But I'm going to go deeper than that. I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm going to say Donovan Jackson. And why do I say Donovan Jackson? Because Donovan Jackson, to me, was one of the best offensive linemen that we had at guard. This guy was an All-American at guard. And he had to be unselfish and move out the tackle for these past couple of games. And he's given them the opportunity to be able to run their entire offense again. You know, when Josh Simmons went down, you know, in that Oregon game, things looked very shaky. We couldn't even run the ball anymore. And I think it really did hamper a little bit of what they wanted to do offensively. But now Donovan Jackson out there at left tackle, and they got Carson Hinsman in there at that guard spot. To me, they're able to continue to run everything. All the options are on the table. They can run the ball again. They can throw the ball. They got enough pass protection to where they can run deeper, developing routes. So I'm going to give it to Donovan Jackson because the offensive line gets no love.
It's interesting that you said that because I was thinking about this, and I was thinking if this team if this team gets where they want to go, their ultimate goals, and this offensive line continues to play like it has the past couple of weeks, would it be out of the question to say that Donovan Jackson and Carson Hinsman are co-MVPs of this team? Because this offensive line seems to be playing as good or better than it has all season, and it's because of those two guys, because Donovan Jackson was willing to move positions and shift out, and Carson Hinsman has come in and just helped solidify the inside of that offensive line.
No, I mean, you got to think that they kind of saved the season because things were kind of shaky. I mean, everybody think about that Nebraska. Who was the tackle that came in?
Zen Mahalski.
Yeah, all right, and he really struggled in that game. And obviously he went down, and then Donovan had to slide out there. But don't get me wrong, Donovan, they do a lot of things to help Donovan Jackson, but there's also times where he's getting one-on-ones and he's looking really good. So to me, I think that saved this season because after that Nebraska game, that's when everybody was all like, I mean, you lost to Oregon in that Nebraska game. You played that very close. It was like, I don't know. And then you make this change to put Donovan Jackson out there and put Carson Hinsman at guard, and now they're rolling and blowing people out and scoring and running everything they want to do. So to me, yeah, you have to look at those two and give them their flowers and say that they kind of saved this thing.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Shoot from the hip.
Where was Carson Hinsman?
When?
All along.
That's a great question.
Where was he?
Standing right there.
Like who finally said enough is enough and let's put this guy in the game?
Well, I think that due to the fact that the whole training camp with the illness on the offensive line, they said he was affected by it the most, so he probably missed a ton of reps. He didn't have the chemistry. He was moving positions from center to guard. So, it was a lot of things and a lot of variables involved that I guess they must have didn't feel like he was up to speed yet. And you give him 6-7 weeks in the season before he gets action, and he's probably getting these reps in practice. He finally caught his win and caught up to the chemistry of what's going on the offensive line, and he was able to answer and take full advantage of his opportunity.
Whoever put the APB out on him and found him, I thank them a lot. What about the defensive side of the ball?
The defensive side of the ball, the easy answer, again, is Caleb Downs.
It has to be,
I'm not going with the easy answers. I'm going with a guy by the name of Cody Simon because Cody Simon is a guy that's really flash. He's all over the field. He's made plays, especially in the crunch time. He's made a lot of TFLs, a lot of plays. His blitz patterns is great. He's good in coverage, and that entire linebacker unit is playing out of their mind. So I'm going to say Cody Simon.
I think it is Caleb, and I think all you have to do is look at the Penn State game and how he totally shut down Moore and the tight end. It is a layup. But sometimes the easy answer is the right answer, and I think that's what it is on the defensive side of the ball. Hey, speaking of the defense, did it need fixed? And if so, is it fixed, or are they just performing well against bad, crummy teams? We'll discuss next. It's the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Imagine a tailgate. The heat of the flame, the sizzle of the burger, the squeeze of the ketchup. Grilling is essential to tailgating as the game itself. Weber grills are there in the hours, minutes, and even seconds before kickoff. Before the best damn band in the land plays the battle cry, signaling it's time to take the field. Weber is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. This season, Weber created an officially licensed limited edition Ohio State grill inspired by the iconic Buckeye helmets. Find the best damn grill in the land at local Ohio retailers.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, You can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Save time, reduce costs, and eliminate printer frustrations with Modern Office Methods, your award-winning managed print services provider. We know how to help your business reduce the cost of office printing by identifying necessary print and paper waste. We can improve your printer fleet and decrease the amount of printer frustration. Why wait? Start saving time and money today. Start with our comprehensive print fleet assessment by going to momnet.com and click on a free assessment.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy, breezy, and cool with showers on this Thursday. Temperatures only in the low 50s. Overnight will fall back down to the mid to upper 40s with scattered showers tapering off with the clouds hanging in. Mostly cloudy skies but drying out by Friday with highs in the mid 50s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Brutus is their homeboy. This is the Buckeye Show.
Yes, it is the Buckeye Show, and we here on the Buckeye Show are sponsored by our friends at Care Source and Coors Light. Glad to have them along for the ride with us. You can join us as well. Glad to have you, however you're tuning in, whether it be the Fan app or the regular radio, or maybe you're watching the handsome Tyvis Pal on YouTube. However it is, we are glad to have you with us on this Thursday. Tyvis, a lot of people thought the Buckeye defense was broken. We know the past few years there's been some issues with big plays, and it looked like maybe the defense was fixed, but then Oregon happened, and people lost their mind about Oregon, and a lot of people were like, oh, the defense is fixed now because they played good the last couple of weeks. And the defense has not given up a touchdown since the fourth quarter of the Nebraska game. 2 games in a row, no touchdowns from this defense, because remember the Penn State scored their touchdown on the Will Howard interception.
Correct.
So the defense has been pretty strong. I want to give you some stats on the defense here, Tyvis, for this year. And some of these were a little surprising to me. So this Buckeye team has only given up 89 points all year on the defensive side of the ball. That's less than 10 points a game. 250 yards a game is what they're giving up defensively. Tyvis, this stat floored me. They have given up no touchdowns in the third quarter all season. They have only given up 3 field goals, 1 to Nebraska, 1 to Akron, 1 to Penn State. 9 points total in the third quarter. To me, Tyvis, and you will know more than me, and then we can jump back into some of these stats, but to me, that tells me this defensive coaching staff is doing a really good job of making adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I always tell everybody that the goal in the first half is just to find out what they're doing. You play your basic defense and you find out exactly how they're trying to attack what you're doing. And then at halftime, once you figure it out, because they're going to show their hand in the first half, you make those adjustments, you come out and you nip it in the bud. And this team has done a really excellent job of doing such a thing, so I think that's why you're seeing this team be able to excel, and they really putting their foot on the gas in the second half and running away with this thing.
So to go along with that third quarter stat, they've only given up 34 points total in the second half all season. These are things I remember you talking about last year, Tyvis. They've 26 sacks. Maybe you'd like to see a little more than that, but getting pressure on the quarterback is something that we've really talked about for the past 2 or 3 years, but especially this season as well. They've also forced 13 turnovers. They have 7 interceptions. They have 6 fumble recoveries, and the defense has scored 3 touchdowns. I know that is huge for you on defense. You have always said you would rather have a corner that gets burned a couple times, but gets 7, 8, 9 picks a year than a guy who they don't even throw at because they know they're not going to complete it. I know you like the turnover part of this.
Yes, I do, because I think that changes games. When you get the takeaway, you get the chance to shorten the field for your offense, help them get easy points, and usually interceptions amount to 7 points. If you're going to be a guy that's just going to be a cover guy, why would an offensive coordinator be scared to throw to your side? Well, the worst he's going to do is knock the ball down. We're going to line right back up and we're going to try again. We're going to throw 50-50 balls. But if you picking the ball off, that guy is dangerous. Stay away from that guy. So that, to me, is the biggest difference. And I love the fact that this defense has become really good at, tracking the ball, getting their hands on it. And these guys are looking to score. Every time they score a touchdown on defense, to me, that is like a great equalizer, because that's points that's unexpected, and that could be a dagger in a lot of games.
So let me ask you the question we started with this. Did this defense need fixed? And if yes, is it fixed?
After the Oregon game, yes, they did, because it was so much confusion, I would say. It was obviously everybody's seen the clips on the internet about, them only rushing 2 guys and simulated pressure and still playing man on the outside and things like that. And I think that what happened was, in those first few games, they ran a pretty basic game plan, but they found out that they was just more athletic than everybody. We got more talent over here. So a basic pass rush was able to get home and cause pressure to where you didn't need to do twist stunts or blitzes and things like that. You could keep those guys in coverage. And when you went up against the Oregon team, first of all, Dylan Gabriel did a lot of exposing because he's a very accurate quarterback, but you also didn't pressure this guy. You were scared of his legs. You wanted him to stay in the pocket. So you started to have more guys in coverage and not rush. And the 4 guys that you were counting on weren't getting home. Now, fast forward to what I see now. Now I see guys being sent on blitzes. I see linebackers blitzing. I see the nickel blitzing. I see them running stunts. I see Jack Sawyer. Instead of JT and Jack Sawyer taking an outside rush, I see these guys going inside, and then I see guys twisting around it to come outside to see if these tackles can pick those things up, if they could come off of that and come pick up the outside blitz on the outside and things like that. So to me, that also has changed a lot. I think that this secondary has went back to last year where they starting to stay on top of routes a lot more, make these guys dink and dunk their ways down the field. Still got to clean up a couple of things. Denzel did give up a deep ball last week. It was a great catch by the guy, so, I'm not going to really fault him for that. And like I say, IGB gets a little handsy at times. He's got to clean that up. But once those two lock in and do those things, then, yeah, I think this defense is completely fixed.
Let me tell you this, and when I say this, let me preface this with, again, we're not judging this defense against the Iowas and the Michigan States and the Nebraskas. We are judging this defense against the best in the country. We're grading on a curve here with Ohio State.
Yes, you have to.
Because we want to be a national championship team, so we have to judge ourselves against those national championship type teams. This defense did need fixed, and I don't know if it's fixed yet. And here's why. Jim Knowles, in his first 4 games as Ohio State defensive coordinator in top 5 games, 2022 Michigan, 530 yards. 2022 Georgia, 533 yards. 2023 Michigan, 338 yards. 2024 Oregon, 496 yards. That's 1,896 yards and 149 points put on the board in 4 games. Now, his 5th game was against Penn State, and they did pretty good. They held him to 6 points, 2 field goals, and 270 yards. But Tyvis, I know it's a top 5 team, but I don't think anybody thinks Penn State rivals any of those 4 teams we just talked about. I don't think anybody thinks Penn State is the 4th best team in the country right now. I don't think if Penn State played Alabama or Georgia right now that they would be, I don't even know if they'd be a single-digit underdog. They might be double-digit underdogs, and maybe that's a little exaggeration, but nobody thinks Penn State's offense especially is on the level of those other teams. So we're not going to know if this defense is fixed until the college football playoff, I don't believe, or maybe the Big Ten championship game in a rematch with Oregon.
Indiana will be a decent test as well. I think Ohio State wins that in the trench play. I think that's ultimately the great equalizer. I think the Wolverines showed that if you got good trench play, you can kind of slow down what Indiana's doing. So, and I think Indiana's top 5, right? They rank 5th, right?
Yeah. And again, I'm just saying, I love Indiana in this story.
I'm just saying, if you go list top 5 opponents,
and I understand we have to. It counts. But if Indiana played Georgia tomorrow, what would be the spread?
Georgia looks terrible right now.
What would be the spread?
Hoosiers -2.
Somebody done spiked your lemonade.
Georgia would be favored. Georgia would be favored.
So, and again, I love this Indiana story, and I hope that they end up going into the college football playoff, and I hope they have a run. I hope that they are as good as they seem to be right now. It's a great story, but to me, I won't know what this defense truly is until we play Oregon again or someone of that caliber.
I agree. That's fair.
Noon games, Tyvis, they've been the talk of this week with Ohio State playing 6 straight here to end the season. We'll let you hear what the team has to say about those noon games next. It's Ryan Baker, it's Tyvis Powell, it's the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
This Saturday, choose chill and grab a Coors Light. Press play on Ohio State football and pause on everything else. We know there's nothing like game day in Columbus. So whether you're at the tailgate, the bar, or just watching from home, choose the one beer that's made for Ohio State game day. Coors Light, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics 2024.
Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 21 means 21. Celebrate responsibly.
I'm Leslie from Pella, Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One thing we keep hearing here in town, Wilson, is that the cost of Pella windows actually pleasantly surprises most people.
Pleasantly surprised?
You get the Pella next level quality and looks, but we also have 5 different lines to fit most budgets.
Our customers are almost always surprised, but it's never pleasant. Is there such thing as angrily surprised?
Price is a little high.
Oh no, they're a lot high.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Open a Platinum Rewards Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and secure super low everyday rates so you can pay down debt faster. Apply now at Kemba.org to unlock 2% cash back on purchases for a limited time and pay 0% interest for a full year on balance transfers plus exclusive perks. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
What's better than giving a gift everyone wants? Getting free gas and groceries by earning perks on gift cards purchased at Giant Eagle Market District and GetGo. Choose from hundreds of gift cards to make everyone merry at Giant Eagle Market District and GetGo.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through December 2nd, get 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 24 Tacoma SR5 double cab for $279 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds trucks better than Toyota. Let's go places.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I love this time of the year, the food, the family, the football, and I want to spend it with my loved ones. I don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. So Bob Evans, they got a solution for you. It's the Thanksgiving celebration, their farmhouse feast. They've got unbelievable options. Me, I love the slow roasted turkey for 6 hours, but you could go with ham as well. They've got unbelievable handcrafted sides. My kids love the homemade celery and dressing. The mashed potatoes with gravy, they're always a winner. They've got tons of them that serves 8 to 10 people, folks. So go check it out at bobevans.com.
Menards is your lighting headquarters. We have a huge selection of lights from top brands, including Good Earth Lighting. Whether you're looking for a light that complements your unique style or helps with your home projects, we have you covered. Pick up a 44-inch length, 10,000 lumen LED shop light on sale now through November 17th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Trying our best to make Tyvis Powell raise his voice at least 3 octaves.
Are you serious, dude?
You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light.
Will said if he gets to play at noon, he can complete 80% of his passes. So I think the controversy's over. So you got a noon kickoff, he'll complete 80. So I think we can all, I know a lot of people have problems with what we're doing, but if it means the quarterback can complete 80% of his passes, we'll take it.
That was Chip Kelly making a joke about why we're having so many noon games right now. Will Howard said he'll complete 80% of his passes during the noon games. Welcome back into the Buckeye Show. Ryan Baker in for Timmy Hall and Tyvis Powell. Tyvis, I don't get all of the fan uproar about all these noon games, quite frankly. No, I really don't. Now, I will say this. I love, obviously, a night game.
Exactly.
And the atmosphere of a night game. But if the game's at noon, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't change anything. If it's at 3:30, I don't mind getting the game done and over with, and then we can have our day to go do what we want. I just don't personally understand why everybody's so up in arms about it, why it's such a big deal that we're asking coaches about it.
Well, what I would tell you is, from a fan's perspective, you've seen a night game. You've been to a night game at the Shoot, right? Mm-hmm. You know the atmosphere.
For sure.
The problem I think that the fans have with it is not the fact that they having all these consecutive noon games. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's the fact that their one night game this year was Western Michigan. I think that's the problem. Like, why give us one decent Big Ten opponent at night? Like, I think that's kind of what they're up in arms about.
And that's fair. And wasn't Michigan State a night game too? So you had that there. Yeah, it was there.
In Oregon, there. I'm talking about at the Shoot. They only had, and then before that, last year it was some mediocre team as well. So
I think the problem is that they're all in a row. I think if we had this amount of noon games, but we had 2 and then a 3:30 and then 2 and then a 7:30, I don't think people would care about it. But when you get 6 in a row, and it's just because Fox, and it's smart on their part, is trying to make money off of the Ohio State name and brand.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
They weren't playing that game for Purdue last week.
I'm not mad at Fox for doing it. If I was in Fox's shoes and I'm trying to make sure I get good ratings on my shows, yeah, I would do the same thing. So, I mean, it is what it is. I would just think that the reason that everybody's up in arms is because like I say, the only night game they had was Western Michigan. And like, come on now. Like,
you'd like it to be someone bigger.
Yeah, just one. Like, I'm not just one. Give us one decent night game at the shoe a year. Like, I think that's doable. Out of 12 games, you could give them not a MAC opponent. Like Texas, there's no way Texas is going. That they go at night. Like, they're just dude, Fox is gonna be like, yeah, we all over that.
Here was Ryan Day saying, hey, he wasn't really worried about the game times.
I got to deal with a lot of fan backlash for other things other than the times of games. So I'm going to leave that for other people to deal with. I got other things I got to deal with. So, whatever they tell us to play, we're going to play. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be in a baseball field. It could be 11 a.m. Could be at night, whatever it is. We're going to put the football down and go play, and I'll worry about the team.
Probably not a coincidence there that he said a baseball field at 11 a.m. when you'll be playing on a baseball field at 11 a.m. Central Time where the baseball field is this week. Real quick, Tyvis, before you comment on that, this was Ryan Day, though, and I think this is a valid point talking about some of the things that the noon games they have to worry about a little bit.
The time of game sometimes can affect just who comes into the, who's able to make it from out of state a little bit further away. That's about it. And it's just the one thing that we've done. We know that we have these noon games here in the back half of the season. So we've just been really working hard on getting guys to bed early at night and then waking them up early in the morning just to kind of get their biorhythms in order. They've done a good job of that. So that's about it. Other than that, we're playing football.
I think the recruiting part of that is interesting because say you're looking at a quarterback out of California, it's hard for him to get to the shoe for a game at noon when he had to play Friday night.
Yeah. And like I said, and I think Fox should be, they should understand that, because if I'm missing out on recruits because of this, then that's going to mess up your product. So like your numbers going to drop. So I think it's just something that I think they have to have a conversation with Fox about. Like, all right, we don't mind playing at noon, whatever the case may be, but you have to give us some games to where we can get some of these high profile recruits that's from far out to come to a game. And it has to be a meaningful game. It's got to be a game that the kid wants to see. So one game is not going to hurt Fox for the entire year. A decent opponent at night is not going to hurt Fox's numbers just once.
And you've been hosting with Bo quite a long time, quite a while here, and you've known Bo for a long time. It's something that he's talked about a lot. Ohio State could flex their muscle on this.
They ain't going to do
But they don't ever do that, If
that.
this was a huge issue with that stuff, I think Ohio State would probably put their foot down and say, hey, we need to break this up a little bit because we've got to do some of this. But
if they did that, you signed the contract. What do you want me, what, you think I'm going to rip it up?
I know, and I understand, but Fox is still getting plenty off of Ohio State regardless. I'm just saying, if Ohio State wanted to, they could flex some muscle here a little bit.
You know how many people outplay their contracts? You had the contract. You signed the deal. Like, it is what it is.
I got you, but the contract is with the whole conference. Like, hey, let somebody else step up and take. I get what you're saying,
you need to tell the conference that they need to step. That's what Fox said. Well, you need to go tell your buddies that they need to get better so we can pick their games up.
And look, we've got some valid points coming in on the YouTube right now. Craig says that the playoff games will be night games. Yeah, they probably will, but like you mentioned, maybe Ohio State
gets... A couple of those playoff games won't be night. They're already set for that first round.
But I mean,
4 and 8.
And here's the thing: will Ohio State have one at home or not? Right now, they have one home game. Yeah. That first round matchup is they're going to be the 5 seed right now, but that could all change. So, and then some people do have kids. Kids sports could be during noon games on a Saturday. I get that. I guess those are all things as well. So maybe you're missing out on some of these games because you have kid stuff going on. And
you think they're going to put Ohio State's playoff game at noon at the shoe?
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's depending on who.
Are any of the playoff games on Fox? I don't believe Fox has any of them, do they?
I think it's all ESPN,
yeah,
right?
I think it's all ESPN.
Some of them got maybe bumped to, was it TNT? But that's because ESPN gave them out. That was ESPN's call.
Well, and it's because they're going against NFL games or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. They're going to get
unfortunately
kind of crushed in the ratings on some of those, I think.
It's all interesting. Here's Will Howard talking about the noon games.
I kind of like getting up and rolling, man. There's no thought, I think sitting around sometimes, I have no control over that. I don't really mind. I'm going to play whenever they tell us to play, and but there's something I kind of like about just getting up and going. There's less thinking involved. You kind of just get up, sometimes when you're sitting around for those night games, you get a little, you're sitting in the hotel, and for me, it's more just I just get antsy. I'm like, man, I just want to go. Like, I just want to go play this game. And I don't like sitting around all day, just waiting. So I think there's good, obviously, the fans, would it be cool to have a night game? Sure, but man, I'm not worried about it. And I'll play whenever they tell me to play, and it's all good.
Tyvis, I could have seen you being that guy that was antsy all day, just waiting for a night game.
Yeah, I could. It's funny you say this because from 2012 to 2014, yes, I was very antsy. 2015, my last season, I roomed with this guy by the name of Von Bell. Mm-hmm. And this is sad. I don't think I ever shared this information. The sad part is me and Vaughn on night games or 3:30 games, one of us brought our Xbox to the hotel, and we sit there and play Call of Duty when we had our downtime just to let time pass by. That's what we did.
It'll be like taking your Fire Stick with you this weekend to Wrigley so you can watch Mike Tyson and Jake Paul on Friday night.
Well, I'll be back home by then.
Did you have a game? Well, no, not Friday night.
Oh,
That's Friday night.
But it's on Netflix.
Oh, you could watch that on your Fire Stick. Then.
I could do that too.
Did you have a game time that you liked as a player? Was there something that you liked the noon?
Let's go 6 o'clock because they come bang on your doors at 6. So me and Vaughn would wake up at 5, go down, watch some film for 30 minutes with our coach, and we already be downstairs before they start to banging. So noon, get up at 6, let's roll. Let's get this thing over with.
So it seems like a lot of the players, past and present, enjoy the noon games.
Let's get
up and get it over with.
Because you still want to enjoy your Saturday. You have a Saturday night. Anything else, your Saturday night is kind of gone.
Especially if you were at home, then you can go out and enjoy the campus life.
Yeah,
buddy.
Be social.
Absolutely. Some Buckeyes are being recognized for some major college football awards. We'll tell you who next. It's the Buckeye Show. Ryan Baker, Tyvis Powell, 97.1 The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Want to kick off your fall shopping with a touchdown? Shop Bob's Discount Furniture for pieces that fit your style and your space. Check out Bob's space-conscious and style-forward furniture for every room, like counter-height dining sets, convenient lift-top coffee tables, guest-friendly pop-up sleepers, and storage-filled seating perfect for game day hangouts. So stop and score winning design with Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
I'm Rick Reichard. Get Black Friday pricing now at Reichard Ford, because we're dealing. Everyone knows that Black Friday is a wild time to buy a car. Reichard Ford learned from last year, so we've already dropped our prices. Fresh incentives from Ford have just been announced, so guess what? You want the best Black Friday selection? You want super sale Black Friday pricing? You want to skip the Black Friday insanity? Well, you get all that this week at #1 Reichard Ford. New 2024 F-150s available with 1.9% APR financing. Or get up to $8,000 off of MSRP. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Broncos. 100 to choose from. Beat the crowd, save more money, shop the best selection at Reichard Ford's pre-Black Friday sale. The largest volume Ford dealer in Ohio at Route 33 and Hamilton Road, 2 minutes off 270, and at ReichardFord.com. Based on 2023 Ford report for total new retail sales. Cincinnati region offers end 12/2 on approved credit. Come in now, because we're dealing.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, what's all this I hear about seasons free things?
Yeah, we're giving away even more than usual this season.
Free alignment with any Ford tire purchase isn't seasonal, Mike. It's free every day at Tire Discounters.
Sure, but right now, guess what else happens every day?
I know that customers can save up to $250 on Michelin tires.
Absolutely. Now, guess what else?
Mike, I'm a Phantom tire buyer with a secret identity. Please don't toy with me.
Okay, here's the deal.
Yes?
We're doing these drawings.
Like a game show.
And one lucky customer per day wins all their money back for 4 tires.
Spectacular! But why call it seasons free things?
You know, season's greetings. It's like a play on words.
Yes, of course it is. I knew that. It's seasons free things at Tire Discounters. One lucky customer per day wins their money back on tires. Everyone saves big on major brands like Continental. And a free alignment and oil change comes with every Ford tire purchase.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Buckeye Talk and the latest updates on Ryan Day's beard. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Welcome back in. Ryan Baker filling in for Timmy Hall. Tyvis Powell here as usual, like he usually is on Thursdays. Glad you have you along for the Buckeye Show. Tyvis, we've heard some Buckeyes here recently, especially Will Howard, because he's been starting to get some people asking about the Heisman with him and if that's something, he's thinking about. And obviously, he's going to say that he's not thinking about that. And
as he should. Great media training.
Is that something that you and your teammates as players, did you guys think about those individual awards a lot or not?
I wouldn't say not a lot. You definitely thought about it, though. Like, when we were playing, I think Vaughn was a semifinalist or a finalist, maybe. Semifinalist for the Thorpe. And, when I seen it, I tweeted it out. And, it was like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if you won the Thorpe? Like, of course. Like, those are the type of things. But is it something that we dwelled on? No. Heck no. We had other things to worry about, like winning the game this week.
I would think it would be hard. It would be something hard not to think about and want to shoot for.
I sat there and seen JT was in the Heisman, Zeke, Braxton, all these guys in the Heisman. But, it'd be cool. And as a teammate, it would definitely be cool to see them do that. But that's not something that they thought about all the time. They thought about what they had to do this week. So, like I said, your coach usually does a great job of keeping you grounded. If you go out there and handle business, then you'll get those awards. You do what you're supposed to do and make plays in those games, you'll get those awards in the end. But that's not at the top of your mind. It's cool to think about for 10 minutes, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to focus on this week.
When you focus on the team and what you have to do each week and doing your job each week, obviously when you have team success, those individual awards come, and some Buckeyes are being recognized as semifinalists for some of those awards. This one kind of caught my eye a little bit. Jeremiah Smith is one of the 20 semifinalists for the Walter Camp Player of the Year Award, which is the best player in college football. And he's the only Buckeye on there. Now, Jeremiah Smith has obviously come in as a freshman and had a great year, the best year ever in the history of a wide receiver for a freshman at Ohio State. But it's interesting that he's on this list and Will Howard is not, because we just talked about this with a Buckeye MVP. It's got to be Will Howard right now at this point in the season. And Jeremiah is the one for the best player in football award and not Will Howard.
I think for some odd reason, a lot of people people that is in charge of these awards, they look at that Oregon loss as like a big stain. Like that was just completely Will Howard's fault. And that's not the case at all. Will Howard played a really good game. Honestly, if the offensive PI never happens, we probably singing a different tune. Him and Dylan Gabriel probably flip spots for the Heisman and all of these other big time awards. So Will Howard, the only knock that Will Howard has is maybe 1 or 2 plays a game where it's just atrocious. Outside of that, he plays really good football. He makes all the throws. He does all the things that you want him to do. So he should definitely be considered in this thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's some really good athletes in college, but I think Will Howard, when you think about quarterbacks and how important they are to a team, and you look at this team and how they go as he goes, it's hard to say that you can't put him in that argument.
It's interesting that Dylan Gabriel is the number 2, has the second best odds to win the Heisman. Mm-hmm. And he has, I believe it's about 100 more pass attempts than Will does this year. Yep. And he has about 600 more passing yards. But everything else between Will and Dylan are identical. Yeah. Their touchdowns, their rushing touchdowns, their interceptions. Mm-hmm. I think they're 0.1% difference in completion percentage.
I think Will's 74 and Dylan Gabriel's 74.1.
Yeah, it's something like that. So it's very close. And I think that's exactly what it is. Will's 74. And Will actually has a higher passer rating than Gabriel. His passer rating is the 3rd best in college football.
Dylan Gabriel just broke the record for most college touchdowns.
Just means you've played 7 or 8 years.
I agree.
Now.
But that's, I get what you're saying. You're not going to acknowledge that he's a great player?
But I also think, too, and this isn't totally fair for Oregon because they obviously have a great team and a great roster, but I think when people think of Ohio State, Will Howard gets knocked because of all the talent Ohio State has. The Mecca and Jeremiah and Travion and Quinshon and all of these all-American type players, 5 stars, yada, yada. Oregon has that too, but for some reason I feel like it doesn't get recognized as much as Ohio State's does.
Well, I guess the way they look at it is, if you take Will Howard and drop him in another offense, is he still the same thing? If you take Dylan Gabriel and put him in another offense, is he that same guy? Well, you could look at it and say Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma was pretty good, and at Oregon he's really good. At Kansas State, Will Howard was solid. Mm-hmm. At Ohio State, he's pretty good. So
it's funny how these guys' careers are so intertwined the past couple of years. Dylan Gabriel was first team quarterback all Big 12, and Will was second, and now they're kind of like this in the Big 10.
Yeah, he probably hates them.
Speaking of Will Howard, though, he is getting some recognition. He's one of the 16 semifinalists for the Davey O'Brien Award, which goes to the best quarterback. Ohio State safety Caleb Downs, he was already a semifinalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. He is now a semifinalist for the Big Bednarik Award, and one of 9 semifinalists for the Lott Impact Trophy. Caleb Downs' numbers aren't as good this year as they were last year at Alabama. They don't need to be. Mm-hmm. He's just made a world of difference for this defense. And like we talked about earlier, he totally shut down Warren, the Penn State tight end, who, by the way, is one of the 20 semifinalists with Jeremiah Smith for the Walter Camp Award.
I'm sure he is. Now, I was talking to Dane Brugler today, and he was talking about how Ohio State's going to have a bunch of guys get drafted in this year's draft. And the crazy thing is the 2 best players aren't even draft eligible. Like he said Jeremiah'd go number 1, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He said if Jeremiah Smith was in this draft, he would be the number 1. He'd go number 1. And Caleb Downs wouldn't be too far after him. So, that speaks volumes to that, just the talent that those 2 guys have. And as far as Caleb Downs goes, me and Bo talked about this, that, when you watch him, if you watch the TV copy, you don't necessarily see everything he does. But if you watched all 22 copy, you see all the things that he prevents from happening. He takes away reads. He did a great job against Warren, shutting him down, which Warren is probably going to be a first-round pick, maybe second-round pick. Tight end, and he completely shut him down. He had help, but for the most part, it was one-on-one. And to me, there's no flaw in his game. That's the thing. He's a complete safety. He can cover, he can tackle, he can play the post, he can be in the box. Like, he does everything at an elite level.
And then I thought this was pretty cool. And who would have thought this would be this way just a few weeks ago? But the offensive line, they're one of the 10 semifinalists for the Joe Moore Award, which is the best offensive line in the country. And listen, who knows where this offensive line can go from here? They've only got 2 games under their belt with this configuration of the offensive line. It can only get better from here, right?
When I saw this, it made me smile because Justin Fry has received so much backlash, in the past 2 or 3 years. And it's nice to see that his offensive line is being recognized, just to be a semifinalist for the award, to be the best offensive line. Obviously, if they find a way to pull that off, which they have to play really strong the rest of this season, but if they find a way to pull that off, I mean, that would really help with recruiting, because there's no secret that we do miss on offensive linemen. But, the way that he's been able to get with Chip and they've come up with a scheme to make this offensive line look pretty good, I think that's going to help them in recruiting. If you can win the Joe Moore Award, that really helps in recruiting. So it'd be big for the Buckeyes to try to pull that one.
Yeah, that's huge for them. And I'm excited to see, as we talked about, how this configuration of the offensive line looks moving forward here, because through 2 games, it has been pretty darn good. There's a lot happening in the world of college football. Bodie will let us know all about it next with the College Football Pulse. It's the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Buckeyes, I'm Kurt Lewis, United Healthcare of Ohio CEO and graduate of The Ohio State University. United Healthcare and the Ohio Chamber of Commerce believe healthy small businesses are vital to our economy. That's why we're ready to give your small business a big promotion at no cost to you through our small business sweepstakes. Winners receive radio promotion, social media recognition, and more. To enter, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/UHC. United Healthcare, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For terms and conditions, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/UHC. Sweepstakes rules and restrictions apply.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
Attention, small business or sole proprietors. Do you want to save money on health care for your business? Be able to cover your employees with the best dental, doctors, and hospitals? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for the SACA Benefit Plan. Nearly 100,000 members strong in the state of Ohio. The SACA Benefit Plan is administered by Anthem and could be right for you. Small businesses, visit 844-medohio.com. That's medohio.com. The SACA Benefit Plan could be right for you. Visit 844-medohio.com.
To Central Ohioans, fall means one thing, football. At Sears Heating and Cooling, fall also means one thing, furnaces. We're not plumbers or electricians. Nope. For 74 years, we've been your Central Ohio heating and cooling experts. Need an electrician or plumber? We'll gladly give you a referral, but we won't pretend to be your one-stop shop for all the trades. We're HVAC experts, and our mission is to provide the highest quality service at the best possible price. That's the local advantage of doing business with your neighbors at Sears Heating and Cooling. Online at SearsHeatingCooling.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports. Sports Center.
Good evening. I'm Buddy Wells. We'll start with the NFL as Week 11 of the regular season gets underway in Philadelphia tonight for Thursday Night Football. Got a good matchup tonight as the 7-2 Eagles host the 7-3 Washington Commanders. Kickoff is a little over an hour away at 8:15. You can listen to that game right here on The Fan. We'll have the coverage for you starting at 8. As we take a look ahead to Sunday, the Browns and Bengals both play on the road this weekend. The Browns will face the Saints in New Orleans. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. As for the Bengals, they'll take on the Chargers in L.A. on Sunday night at 8:20. In college football, number 2 Ohio State is at Wrigley Field this weekend in Chicago. That's where the Buckeyes will take on Northwestern. The Buckeyes and Wildcats will kick off at 12 noon on Saturday. Hockey tomorrow night. The Blue Jackets are back at home to host the Penguins. That one will get started at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Nationwide Arena. Also tomorrow night, men's college basketball. Number 21 Ohio State is at number 23 Texas A&M. Tip-off in College Station is at 9 o'clock. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Roof Revivers. Whether your roof needs a quick repair or a full replacement, Roof Revivers has you covered. Visit roofrevivers.com today.
Tyvis, we're heading down the stretch here of the college football season. We get those college football playoff rankings now. Every Tuesday, we're getting elimination games in the SEC, big games for the Big Ten coming up. It is getting exciting, and there is a lot going on in the college football world. Boatman, give us a little tour.
Guys, one thing that starts to heat up as we get closer to the end of the regular season is recruiting. Got a whole bunch of stuff happening.
Especially when your season's over.
Exactly, yeah. In this particular team we're about to talk about, their season definitely is over. I did see some stuff in the last couple of days here. Alabama goes on the road and hammers LSU, and they've lost 2 high-end recruits there. One in Nebraska, one Ole Miss. Not sure how that makes any sense.
The recruit? One to Nebraska?
Couple of them, yeah. They lost a receiver to Ole Miss and I think it was an edge rusher or a linebacker there to Nebraska.
Dylan Raiola's out there on the recruiting trail.
No doubt.
Tell you, the roulette.
Well, some of the biggest news in the recruiting world has happened over the last couple days here. Now, you never know how much to trust these stories, but we'll take it at its value here. We'll talk about it because it's fun to talk about. Bryce Underwood, he's considered to be not only the top quarterback recruit in this year's class, but arguably just the best player in the class, period. I kind of went through and looked through all the 4 or 5 different websites. Every single one of them had him as the number 1 player, except for, I think it was Rivals, had him as number 2 behind Tavian St. Clair. So highly thought of there. He has been committed to LSU since January of this year, so about 10, 11 months there. But nevertheless, the hometown school, Michigan, which is where he's from, they're trying to make a late push to land him. Today, On 3 reported that the Wolverines are prepared to offer him a $10.5 million NIL deal. This would be over the course of 4 years, so about $2.5 million per year there. But nevertheless, $10.5 million is $10.5 million to bring him home to the Wolverines. Obviously, Michigan's offense has struggled this year, to say the least, and a lot of that has been because of the quarterback position trying to replace McCarthy. But if you take this for what it's, take it at its word here that they're offering $10 million. If the return on investment works out, it works out. But, man, that's a lot of money to hand to a high school kid.
I'm going to be honest with you. From a high school, from a player of his caliber and his status, it's not good. It's not a good deal to take.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you.
So they're lowballing him a bit. So
not even that. You got to look at it for more than what it is. At LSU, what's one thing we know about LSU? We know that right now,
Brian Kelly can't win a big game.
That's personal feelings. At LSU and Ohio State both arguably always have top receiver talent.
That's exactly what I thought.
So you always have somebody to throw the ball to. The Wolverines' best pass option right now is a tight end. And they cannot get a wide receiver to come in. Even with JJ, they didn't even have a really good guy over there. So why would I go struggle there when I can make dumb numbers at LSU with top talent that I'm going to get at wide receiver? So to me, first of all, LSU, if you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to make the money. And if you really do what you're supposed to do, you're going to really make the money on the next level anyways, which is ultimately where you want to go. And if you look at look at it now, JJ had a really good career there and he did his thing. But before him, who was the first? Went all the way back to Jim Harbaugh, right?
And let's look at this too with Michigan, the best receiver to come out of there recently was probably Nico Collins, and he really didn't have that great of a college career. They didn't really use him. So,
and they trying to run the ball. They'll run the ball first team up there anyways, no matter who the quarterback is going to be. JJ was solid, and they was still a run the ball first team with Sharon Moore as the head coach. That's what they're going to be at LSU. They're going to always pass the ball.
When you see the headline on this and it says they offer $10 million, it's like, wow. But then you see it's 4 years. Now, here's what I want to know about the 4 years, too. Say he comes out, sits a year, gets the starting job, has 2 great years, then he can go pro. Does he lose some of that money? Because that wouldn't be 4 years. You'd only be there for 3 years.
My thing is, I wouldn't advise any kid to sign a 4-year anything. I would do 1 year and renegotiate after every year.
Is that how you guys did it with the 1870 and whatnot?
If you go in there and sign off the rip for 4 years for $10 million, but you go out there and ball out and be the best player, you're stuck with that $10 million.
It can go both ways, though, right? If you go out there and you're a bust, you still kind of get that money, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you talk to. I mean,
okay, fair enough. I don't know enough about Michigan's NIL collective to know.
I don't either, but I'm just saying, like, you could literally get way more money than you get more than $10 million if you just ball out.
And you think you're a high school kid, you think, wow, $10 million. Heck,
it sounds
sitting
crazy.
here right now, we're like, wow, $10 million.
Yeah.
But it just seems like to me, if you're spreading that out over 4 years, I feel like you could probably get more from someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, next up here, guys, the biggest game of this weekend takes place in the SEC down in Athens. Probably a elimination game, I think, for Georgia. I'm never going to rule out an SEC team because I just don't trust the playoff committee to roll them out. But I think if they suffer a loss this weekend, which would be their 3rd loss, I think they would get knocked out. But nevertheless, Athens this weekend is where number 7 Tennessee will take on number 12 Georgia. Some big news for that game. On Wednesday's SEC injury report, the Volunteers listed their starting quarterback Nico Iamaleava as questionable for the game. Iamaleava has been in concussion protocol, so that's what his injury is there. ESPN has reported that the sophomore quarterback has been practicing throughout this week, so the Volunteers are slightly optimistic that he could play, but that would be certainly a huge deal, obviously, if the number 7 Tennessee starting quarterback there couldn't play. If Tennessee were to lose and he didn't play, that'd be really interesting to see what happened in the playoff rankings, because how much could you hold it against them? But like I said a second ago, Bulldogs probably got to win this one to stay alive.
Bodie, you say that name like a pro. Say it again.
Iamaleava. A lot of practice, no question about that. I did not just write that down and say it. I got some good practice in before we started the show here tonight.
I'll just say Nico. I'll say that. I think he's going to play. There's no way I think that he doesn't play in this. Whether he plays or not, I still think Georgia wins this game because they know they're out. I mean, they're on the outside looking in now, and that probably ticked them off a little bit, I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure Kirby is using that to the best of his ability to get these guys fired up for this one this weekend. If he doesn't play, it's that whole unknown. You don't know what you got. I'm not sure. We obviously know what you guys did with your 3rd-string quarterback. You went on a heck of a run, so you never know. You're just not sure.
Yeah.
But Nico has been everything for the Volunteers this year. He's been pretty awesome, and he's helped make that ship go.
If Nico whether Nico plays or not, I think Georgia wins the game.
Agree.
Because, like you said, their back's against the wall. Their whole entire season is on the line right here. I mean, if they win this game, they got a shot at still making the SEC championship and things like that. But if they lose this game, it's over. Like, they're not going to the CFP, and that'd be 2 years in a row. So I think that they're going to come out and play very desperate. I think that they're going to play very sound football. And like I say, Nico is great. Who's they one loss to? LSU, no,
Arkansas.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because he slid out. He went out of bounds. Or something like
it was like 4th and whatever from the 20, we'll say, and he just kind of ran out of bounds. So it's like, dude, throw the ball to the end zone.
And I'll say this for Georgia too. And I know Georgia Tech beat Miami, and it's a rivalry game. They've got 2 cupcakes after this. So if they can just give everything into this Tennessee game and get through that, I don't think they got to worry about UMass and Georgia Tech to end the season.
Georgia's been battle tested. I mean, their schedule is brutal this season.
They have the 2nd best win in the country, right?
You got me thinking about Nico. What's Tennessee's best win?
Alabama.
Yeah. Okay.
They've had some other, like they beat NC State, but NC State kind of fell apart. They went to Oklahoma, but the Sooners have fallen apart. So, yeah, Tennessee's kind of, I was looking at their resume earlier, and it's not as good as it would have looked, but beating Alabama still counts for a lot. And if they go to Georgia and win,
they win
they're going to be in the playoffs.
They will be in for sure.
Yeah.
All right, last one here, guys. Speaking of the Sooners, the University of Oklahoma's president and AD gave football coach Brent Venables a vote of confidence on Tuesday earlier this week. The Sooners this season, they're 5-5 overall. They're 1-5 in league play. I honestly didn't realize that until I saw this story earlier. During their first season in the SEC, Venables in his third season there, he has a 21-15 record overall. Oklahoma, and this is not great news if you're a Sooners fan being at 5-5 here. They are on a bye this week, and then they host Alabama, who's number 10 in the rankings, and then they close the regular season at number 22 LSU. They could be looking at looking at potentially not going to a bowl game. And they gave Venables that extension this offseason, which I did not understand at all, because he went 6-7 year one and then 10-3 last year, which is fine. Then you show an improvement or whatever. But 10-3 at Oklahoma,
he lost his quarterback. You should have known.
And their offense, I know they've had some injuries this year, but their offense has been a just total mess all year.
They didn't fire the OC yet.
Yes.
I think they did. Yeah.
Okay, so
he's on his third offensive coordinator now in 3 years.
I was going to say they brought in that OC this offseason.
But he's a defensive guy, right?
He is a defensive guy.
Still, it don't matter when your offense is that bad. You better figure it out.
This might be a situation, and they're still just 3 years into this, and they got their roster got destroyed when Lincoln Riley left. But this might be a case of where this guy is an elite coordinator, but he's just not good as a head coach. And listen, Clemson took a hit when he left. It really hit them hard when he left as their defensive coordinator. And Clemson has other issues, obviously, but maybe Venables just doesn't have what it takes to be a head coach. Who knows?
They made their bed and they must lie in it. What is his extension? How long was it?
It was like, I think 5-6 years. Like it wasn't one of these like 10-year, $100 million, but
this year.
Well, I don't know if I admittedly don't always understand if that stuff just stacks on to the original contract.
Yes. It usually does.
Because his original contract was probably 4 or 5 years.
The extension probably kicks in a few years. It just makes his contract go longer. We got to talk about this too. He's already been through. He's on his second defensive coordinator as well in 3 seasons, so they have a lot of turnover. This is not good.
That's the thing. If you can't keep firing the OC and the DC, at some point, it's just like the Chicago Bears. At some point, you got to look at the head guy and be like, all right, we done changed everything. You the common denominator.
Bodie, thanks a lot for that tour around the college football world. Tyvis, there's nothing better in the world than Ohio State and that team up north for a Big Ten championship. And that's what we get on Sunday when Ohio State hosts Michigan in men's soccer for the Big Ten championship. The Buckeyes head coach, Brian Maisonneuve, joins us next. It's the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Bishop and Friends.
We're ahead of the game on Twitter.
Twitter is the most functional for me. If something happens while we're doing a live show, I can hear about it.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through December 2nd, you can lease a Camry LE from just $269 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy, breezy, and on the cool side with scattered showers through this Thursday evening. Temperatures only in the low 50s. Down to the mid to upper 40s by Friday morning with the showers out and cloudy skies sticking around. Plenty of clouds but drying out by Friday afternoon and evening with highs in the mid to upper 50s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Stickers on helmets make us happy. This is the Buckeye Show.
Ah, yes, it is the Buckeye Show. Happy Thursday, Buckeye fans. Ryan Baker in for Timmy Hall. Tyvis Powell, national champion. Former Buckeye to my right, the bowed man on the other side of the glass. Glad to have you guys along on this Thursday. Efforting the Ohio State men's soccer coach Brian Maisonneuve. His team with a huge game on Sunday, Tyvis. Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. at the Jesse Owens. Ohio State, that team up north for the Big Ten championship in men's soccer.
That's how it should be. Anytime you can get a rivalry for a championship, like that's when all the chips is on the line. That's must-see TV. And then we found out that we haven't won it since 2009. They haven't won it since 2010. It's gonna be that's gonna be a really good soccer matchup.
Yeah, it should be a fun time. And as you said, Ohio State hasn't won one since 2009. They have 3 Big Ten tournament soccer champions in their history: 2009, 2007. In 2000, they've only been playing the soccer tournament for the Big Ten soccer tournament since 1991.
Okay.
And we talked about Indiana. They have won 16 of those. And, of course, Brian Maisonneuve was an All-American for Indiana, was an assistant coach there. He's been the Buckeyes head coach since 2018. And he's really had this program going in the right direction since he's gotten here. His first year, They finished tied for 9th in the conference, then 8th, then 7th, then 9th again. Then the 2 years ago, they finished 2nd, slipped back a little bit last year and finished 6th. But they're going for the championship on Sunday, like we said, over at Jesse Owens. So that should be a pretty fun time for this men's soccer team. Anytime you're going for a Big Ten championship, it's huge.
I like the way he's built this thing up. He's had some good years, some down years, but it's always like he's in the mix, and this year he's finally prevailing. And he's got a chance to win the Big Ten championship. So I like the process. I went full Joel Embiid there. Trust the process.
And it's pretty cool. He was an original member of the Columbus Crew. His whole professional soccer career, he played for the Crew. He was there from 96, I think, to 04 was 96. His last year. The inaugural season for the Crew. And he scored the first hat trick ever in Crew history.
Soccer is the one sport that I wish I would have done as a kid.
Why is that?
My footwork would be unbelievable.
That's true.
First of all, Baker, I'm quite the athlete, so there's nothing that I really can't do. I feel like if I would have took coaching, like if I had went in soccer and got serious about it, who knows, man?
You know the one thing I do know? Tyvis tries. I know that. He tries. Let's head out on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline now. Enjoying the coach of your Ohio State Buckeyes men's soccer team, Brian Maisonneuve. Coach, congratulations on the great year so far. Before we get into the game on Sunday, though, I want to get into that first hat trick in Columbus Crew history. What do you remember about that day? And looking back, what does that mean to you and how special is that?
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me on. But no, that was a great moment. That was obviously my rookie year, and just it was really special. I mean, that whole year was special. The start of the league, so many great things happened, and to be able to get a hat trick at the time, it was just it was really neat. Now when I look back at it, to have the first hat trick is pretty special for me and the club.
Coach, the thing about you is you've had a successful career as a player, but now you're having one as a coach. When you think about this game on Sunday, were you more nervous as a player, or are you more nervous as a coach for big games?
Yeah, great question. So much more as a coach. I just feel like as a player, I had on game day, especially when you're out in the field, you can make things happen. As a coach, you can too with adjustments, tactical adjustments. But as a player, I just felt like I could do more, if that makes any sense.
Talking with Ohio State men's soccer coach Brian Maisonneuve on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. His Buckeyes playing for the Big Ten championship over at the Jesse Owens Sunday at 3 against that team up north. Coach, talk just a little bit about your guys in this season, how special this run has been for you.
It's been fantastic. It's a great group of guys. Not only do they work their tail off at practice, and they're a talented group, but they're just great. They're great people. I mean, they're fantastic players, but even better people. It's a great locker room, good leadership, not only from our captains who have done just a wonderful job all year long, and our seniors and our upperclassmen, but we got some incoming freshmen that just come in and work their tail off and lead by example. So from top to bottom, it's a really special group.
Coach, talk about the Wolverines. What do you see, when you watch film on them or when you've been scouting them? What challenges do they present for your team?
Yeah, they present a lot. They're a talented group. I think individually they're extremely talented. They got a lot of good players, and they've actually shifted a couple things around from a tactics standpoint. They put a couple of their more talented players a little bit higher up the field, so now they pose more of a threat going forward. But yet defensively, in the last couple games, they've really tightened some things up between their lines and just as a defensive block. So I mean they're dangerous on both sides of the ball, but especially in transition with some of their better players higher up the field. They got some good athletes, and they can really hurt you.
Coach, before you joined us, we were talking a little bit about You know, Ohio State hasn't won a Big Ten championship in soccer since 2009. You got here in 2018 and have slowly started getting the program back to this level. You started off 9th in the conference, slowly worked your way up. You were 2nd a couple years ago. Now you're playing for the Big Ten championship again. Just talk about the process here with you getting this program back to a championship level program.
Yeah, I mean, with all the great resources, I mean, just great administrators, great resources, great facilities. We knew it would come. It was going to take some time, but we knew it would come. And then you sprinkle in a little year and a half or 2 years of COVID, and it was a challenge at times. But like I said, we just stuck to the process and kept doing what we knew it would work. And you know, I got a great staff, great assistant coaches, great support staff, trainers, strength coach. So we knew it would come. It would just take a little bit of time.
Coach, I got 2 daughters, and my oldest daughter swears that she wants to play soccer, but she's 4 years old. At what age do you think is the proper age for me to introduce her to the game of soccer, you know, put her on a team and things like that?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever too early to introduce her to soccer, whether she sticks with soccer or not. I mean, it develops so much skills for all sports in terms of just moving your feet and foot speed and all that. I think it's a great sport, even if you go into basketball or football. So I think soccer's a great sport, especially for the young kids. And if they stick with it, you know, great. If not, it'll help develop them for other sports. So, man, I don't think it's ever too young to get involved in soccer.
Last minute or two with Ohio State men's soccer coach Brian Maisonneuve. Coach, what's a couple keys to a Big Ten championship and winning this one on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest key is continue to do what we're doing. I mean, we're playing for a championship at home. Sometimes you can get a little bit nervous and a little bit tight, but we just got to keep doing what we're doing. From a tactic standpoint, from an individual creativity standpoint, we can't be tight when we take the field on Sunday. We just got to let it ride and you know, just rely on what we've been doing all year because, you know, like I said, this group has been just doing a tremendous job on both sides of the ball. Defensively, we've been solid, more than solid, and then going forward, we've gotten goals from a lot of different people, and we got to continue to do that.
Coach, it's a Big Ten championship game. Like we said, Jesse Owens this Sunday at 3 p.m. If people want to come out and watch, what do they need to do? How can they get there?
Free admission, free parking, so no reason not to come out. The weather's going to look great, or looks great. A good opponent, Big Ten championship. Come on out and support the Bucks. We're excited, and it'll be a great game and atmosphere for sure.
Coach, congratulations on the great season so far, and we can't let those Wolverines get a Big Ten championship. We don't care what sport it is. Go out there and bring home a Big Ten championship on Sunday.
Absolutely. We'll do our best. Really appreciate all the support.
Go Bucks. It's head coach Brian Maisonneuve, men's soccer coach, joining us on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Tyvis, you unfortunately are going to be in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to get there, but everybody else get out there and root on the Buckeyes. We cannot let the team up north win a Big Ten championship.
Well, I'd rather be at the game, trust me. I'd rather be at this soccer match than
I don't blame you. I actually may go to the game so I don't have to watch the Browns. I may do that. Hey, the Buckeye basketball team. They've had a great start to the season as well. They're 2-0. They've got a big one against Texas A&M tomorrow night. We'll talk with former Ohio State assistant and current college basketball analyst for ESPN+, Dave Cecutti, coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At Humana, our Medicare Advantage plans give you coverage and care you can count on, along with guided support to help you feel your best. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options and choose a Medicare Advantage plan. You'll feel confident because you have plan options that fit your needs. You could have a plan with a $0 premium and even personalized care from a wide network of doctors, or all-in-one plans that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. When it comes to the benefits and support you need, Humana has Medicare Advantage plans made for your well-being and your wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
This Saturday, choose chill and grab a Coors Light. Press play on Ohio State football and pause on everything else. We know there's nothing like game day in Columbus. So whether you're at the tailgate, the bar, or just watching from home, choose the one beer that's made for Ohio State game day. Coors Light, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics 2024. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 21 means 21. Celebrate responsibly.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Broadcasting live from DeVere Posey's wonderful Cologne Emporium, also known as the Fan Studio. This is the Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light.
You know, I thought I smelled a little after effects of DeVere being in here yesterday.
Y'all roll.
I thought that's what that was.
Y'all are so roll.
Welcome back into the Buckeye Show. Ryan Baker in for Timmy Hall. Tyvis Powell here as well. Let's talk some Buckeye hoops now. Let's head out on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline and join former Buckeye basketball assistant and current analyst for ESPN Plus, Dave Cecutti. Dave, thanks a lot for taking some time and talking with us tonight. We first question here, kind of a two-parter, and this is just about Jake Diebler. Going back to Diebler and his run at the end of last year, and he gets the head coaching job. What do you think about the hire of Jake Diebler? And then the second part of that, you and I were both at the state championships last year, and we saw how much the high school basketball community in Ohio flocks to Jake and his brother John and the Diebler brothers. How big is that high school basketball relationship that Jake Diebler has with the state of Ohio? How big is that going to be in the future?
Well, thanks, Ryan. And let me hit you on the first one. First of all, I think last year, what Jake Diebler did once he took over for Chris Holtman in that, I guess it was mid-February, I think he kind of boxed everybody in because his team played with such a high energy and just with high motor for those 11 or 12 games. Obviously, they had some great wins as well, but I don't think they had a choice. I mean, he put them in a situation where he was going to be the head basketball coach at Ohio State, and obviously both Gene Smith and Ross Bjork made that decision, and I think it was a great decision. I think the second part of your question, Ryan, I think his energy level and his passion for the game of basketball and his background in Ohio just affords, from a recruiting standpoint and just a fan standpoint, you got to love the guy. You got to love that, what he's putting on the floor and what they're doing. They're playing to his personality a little bit. And as you know, he came out on record, I think, this week, and he made a statement which I thought made a lot of sense. They're going to have to embrace kind of his passion for the game. You see it on the sidelines. You see it in practice. I've seen a couple practices as well. And they don't have a choice. Either you're going to embrace his style or you're probably not going to see a whole lot of minutes. But you're right. They flock to him. And I think that's important in the position that he is at Ohio State.
Now, I know it's only been 2 games that they played, but what stood out to you the most thus far when you watch these Buckeyes play?
Yeah, and I guess, Titus, I'm a little careful. Obviously, it's a small sample size right now. But, obviously, there's a lot of good things that are happening within the program. I think 2 or 3 things stand out to me, Titus. Number one is I think defensively they put a lot of pressure on teams because they got multiple pieces this year in terms of their roster. I thought their roster management was really, really good in what they brought in. Sure, there's 9 newcomers, but there's some really excellent transfers in there, a couple of great high school players as well. But I think they offer a lot of challenges for teams to guard them. They can shoot it from the 3. They can penetrate well. They got a good mid-range type of players as well when you think about Stewart and Bradshaw. And then, of course, they can really spread you out, and you got to guard them. Obviously, we saw what Mobley can do. He can knock down shots. Now, a long way to go. Small sample size. But I think that's one thing. I think the other thing, Titus, that I really like about this team, and being a coach, I'm always looking for kind of an upside. I think this team has a great ceiling. I think their growth factor, I think people should be excited about that because I see this team, at least in a small sample package, I see their growth. I think they're really going to be very, very good and very competitive as we get into January and February.
Ryan Baker Tyvis, pal, joined by Dave Cecutti on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. He's a former Ohio State basketball assistant and a current analyst for ESPN+. Dave, coming into the season, one of the big questions was three-point shooting. Who was going to knock them down? And so far, they're just under 50%. Now, it's obviously a small sample size, only 2 games. Do you think that they can continue to shoot the 3 ball well enough to win games and compete in this Big Ten?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with confidence, and that's, again, back to kind of Jake Diebler. He exudes that confidence, and he offers those players who are going to be there to shoot those threes a lot of confidence. Obviously, you're going to go on the road. Tomorrow night will be their first really road test, and it's probably their only road test until they get to December when Big Ten play opens up. But you go on the road, things are a little different. Backgrounds are different. The setting's a little different. You're playing a very good Texas A&M team tomorrow night. So, shooting is a fickle thing. Things can change on you. But right now, I think that's got to be a big weapon for them. But I think their pace of play affords them to knock down shots from outside the perimeter because Jake wants this team to play at a high volume pace. And I think if they can do that, I think that'll afford them opportunity to continue to take threes. But you all know as well as I do, once you get into Big Ten play, they're going to take away parts of your game. They're just not going to let you stand out there if you're a good shooter and shoot shots. They're going to take things away. The scout reports a little more detail as you get into January and February. So it's a long way to go, but I think three-point shooting is going to be a big offensive weapon for them.
Dave, how do you think they are on the inside? In the first game, against who we play first, Texas, Sean Stewart and Aaron Bradshaw didn't really do well on that inside. They missed a lot of bunnies and things like that. Obviously, they bounced back against Youngstown State. But do you think when they get into the Big Ten or when they play some of these more competitive games, do you think these guys are solid enough to make things happen offensively and defensively in the paint?
Well, obviously, Aaron Bradshaw and Sean Stewart are very talented players, and they're learning a new system, obviously, Titus. But I think and I mentioned this to somebody the other day, if there's a concern that I have from their standpoint is on the inside and rebounding. Obviously, they don't have that player on the inside that is just going to dominate. So they're going to have to rely upon Bradshaw and Stewart, especially right now. If they're getting 15 or 20 minutes a game, whatever the number is, they're going to have to produce in there. They're going to have to find ways to score. And I think their growth, is going to be very important. I think, to be honest with you, a key player for Ohio State this year is Micah Parrish. He's a transfer out of San Diego State. I think I saw this morning. I think he's in the top 5 in terms of games played of all players in the country. He's got a lot of experience, and he played for Brian Dutcher. Brian Dutcher is a no-nonsense coach. He's seen it all, and he's a veteran player. But the thing I like about, in terms of what Micah Parrish can do, he can guard different positions for you. He can guard a 3. He can guard a perimeter player. Maybe somebody gets hot. He has that 6'6" frame, 210 pounds, that can be physical with players as well. But I agree with you, Titus. I think on the inside, that's going to be something that's going to have to develop and grow as this season unfolds.
Dave, you talked about Micah Parrish. We know in that backcourt they're very experienced with him and Bruce Thornton and Michi Johnson, but a newcomer has kind of been the talk of the first 2 games, and Junie Mobley, just the talented freshman coming in. Well, I mean, it seems like right now the sky's the limit for him. What do you see in Junie Mobley's game, and what are the next steps for him?
Well, I guess I'll have to go what I heard, I think, this week in Jake Diebler's press conference. He talked about Mobley as a player that just has that mentality that's over and beyond his age bracket right now. He just understands the game. He understands what he can do, and obviously he's a shooter. But as I mentioned a little earlier, Ryan, I think sometimes, as teams start to scout Ohio State, they're going to have to take away certain things. And what Junie Mobley's going to have to figure out is other ways that he can make sure he stays involved in this offense. Obviously, we know his range is good from the outside as well, but I think you add him, and you mentioned Bruce Thornton and Michi Johnson. I mean, that's a dynamic backcourt there. Bruce Thornton obviously has proved himself as one of the top players in the country. Michi, coming from South Carolina, has a lot of experience as well. I think Mobley fits right in with that combination. So it'll be important for him to continue to grow a little bit, but boy, if you can knock down shots, it sure makes everything look real good.
Dave, we appreciate you taking some time tonight and talking some Ohio State hoops with us. It's fun to be excited about this Jake Diebler team in Buckeye basketball for sure. We will hopefully catch up with you later on down the road in the season.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot.
That is Dave Cecutti, former Ohio State assistant basketball coach and ESPN Plus college basketball analyst. He was joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. It's been a couple of rough seasons, Tyvis, for Ohio State basketball, especially when you get into December and January. I am super, super excited for this team and what Jake Diebler could possibly bring to the table.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I know how you get. You be hesitant to jump in.
I get negative sometimes.
You do, and it's nice to hear you positive.
And listen, I've got 1 foot in the water right now. I wanna do a cannonball in the water for Jake Diebler, because I think he's hit every pitch so far. I think he is just... he's just getting base hits, doubles, triples, home runs here and there, to use some baseball analogies. But that whole first-time head coach thing still makes me nervous. But, God, I want to do a cannonball into the water now,
Tyvis. Hopefully the month of November and December get you there. And January will be the big test, because January, we know it has been
It's been brutal the past couple seasons.
So once he gets a couple wins in January, I'm doing a backflip in the water.
I'm pretty excited for it. I want to be there with you. We'll see what the social media world is saying about the Buckeyes when we wrap up the show next with hashtag Buckeyes. It's the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Come on over to Heartland.
Getting a mortgage? We take pride in providing the value and service you deserve in one of the most important transactions you'll ever have. Community banks have the most flexibility and the lowest rates. Now fact check that. I'm Scott McComb, CEO, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Want to kick off your fall shopping with a touchdown? Shop Bob's Discount Furniture for pieces that fit your style and your space. Check out Bob's space-conscious and style-forward furniture for every room, like counter-height dining sets, convenient lift-top coffee tables, guest-friendly pop-up sleepers, and storage-filled seating perfect for game day hangouts. So stop and score winning design with Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the Fan. Very good. Now set a second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the Fan's HD3 and save the Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I love this time of the year, the food, the family, the football, and I want to spend it with my loved ones. I don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. So Bob Evans, they got a solution for you. It's the Thanksgiving celebration, their farmhouse feast. They've got unbelievable options. Me, I love the slow roasted turkey for 6 hours, but you could go with ham as well. They've got unbelievable handcrafted sides. My kids love the homemade celery and dressing. The mashed potatoes with gravy, they're always a winner. They've got tons of them that serves 8 to 10 people, folks. So go check it out at bobevans.com.
Ohio State soccer is heating up. Don't miss your chance to see two marquee matchups this weekend at Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium. This Friday, November 15th, the Buckeye women's soccer team will take on James Madison at 6 p.m. for round 1 of the NCAA tournament. Tickets are $10 each and available at go.osu.edu/WSOC-NCAA. And your number 1 ranked Buckeye men's soccer team will take on Michigan in the Big Ten Championship Sunday, November 17th at 3 p.m. Admission is free for all fans. For more information on both matches, please visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. When it comes to hard work, whether on the field or on the farm, I need something that's as tough and reliable as I am. That's why I trust Kubota diesel tractors from Green & Sons. Kubota's diesel tractor motors are high-powered, reliable, and don't stop running, just how I like to play. So when you're serious about getting the job done, you need the Kubota equipment you can trust from Green & Sons. Check them out at greenandsons.com or stop by one of their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville.
This Saturday, choose chill and grab a Coors Light. Press play on Ohio State football and pause on everything else. We know there's nothing like game day in Columbus. So whether you're at the tailgate, the bar, or just watching from home, choose the one beer that's made for Ohio State game day. Coors Light, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics 2024. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 21 means 21. Celebrate responsibly.
Saturday is game day on the Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling. From sump pumps and water heaters to full heating and cooling repair and replacement. The Waterworks tackles it all. Call 614-232-2222 today.
Time to find out what the social media world is saying about the Buckeyes. Before we do that, though, a big thanks to Ohio State men's soccer coach Brian Maisonneuve for joining us a couple segments ago. The Ohio State men's soccer team playing for the Big Ten Championship over at the Jesse Owens Sunday at 3 p.m. Tyvis tickets. They're free, free admission, free parking. Get over there. It's supposed to be a nice day on Sunday. Watch the Buckeyes win a Big Ten championship.
You should go and paint your body.
I don't know if I'll paint my body, but I may go, like I said, just so I don't have to watch the Cleveland Browns play football.
You can't show some spirit?
I'll borrow your starter jacket. That'll be my spirit. Also, a thanks to former Buckeye assistant basketball coach and ESPN Plus basketball analyst Dave Cecutti for joining us last segment. If you missed either of those, Tyvis, they can catch them on the podcast. Wherever you get your audio, just search The Buckeye Show. Make sure you like and subscribe. And how fast is the Bode Man going to get that put up on a Thursday, Tyvis?
On a Thursday, on a ladies' night, he knows that it's ladies' night.
Oh, he wants to get out of here.
So I would say no less, nothing more than 5 minutes.
Lickety-split on a ladies' night. Tyvis, what do you got for us for some #Buckeyes?
Oh, I seen on the old Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter.
It'll always be Twitter to me.
I agree with you. They interviewed Joe Burrow. Obviously, Joe Burrow is playing the Chargers this week, and they asked him about, Jim Harbaugh, and he said that the coach was trying to make a big splash, trying to flip him from Ohio State. Said he's not entirely sure he knew exactly who I was. So Jim Harbaugh loved Joe Burrow back in the day, and obviously Joe Burrow went on to be a great quarterback, so we all can see why he tried that. But come on, man, you from Ohio. He was going to the Buckeyes. He told him to get lost.
I love Joey B back in the day, too.
Yeah.
Remember watching him play at Athens High School.
Yeah, Joe, I had to. So the one thing about Joe Burrow is when we was in college, my high school coach was like, yeah, Joe Burrow tried to put up 100 points. He tried to put up 100 points on somebody. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, it was on the news. He had it was 77-0, and they was out there 5 wide, still trying to throw the ball. Yeah. So I asked Joe about it. I said, Joe, you did that? He said, yeah.
Joe was a sharpshooter in high school basketball, too. He drill some threes.
Joe is
a good basketball player.
Joe Burrow ruthless, man. Slim Shady. They don't call him that for no reason.
This one from Buckeye fans only. They quote tweeting a tweet from PFF College. It says #Buckeyes, best running back duo in the nation, as if we needed to be told that. Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, the only running back duo with 80-plus PFF grades this season. Quinshon coming in at an 84.3, Travion at an 82.5. How about that Buckeye running back duo? I want to see more of them.
Well, we need to, I think everybody, which is sold out, but he might have restocked it. We all need to go support Seth McLaughlin's foundation and all buy the Run the D ball hats.
Hey, speaking of the running back duo, I want to ask you this in the last minute and a half here of the show. Who needs to play well for this Buckeye football team to win it all? Outside of Will, of course. Who needs to play well?
The offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Are they playing good enough the last 2 games to make that happen?
I thought so. I mean, Quinshon and Travion, they haven't had 100-yard games, but combined they get 100 yards and they'll be very effective, with the timing. I just think that when you get later in the season, all the good teams that really win it all runs the ball really well. Obviously the Wolverines did, and their offensive line play was good. Georgia ran the ball well. They had some speedsters on the outside, and Stetson Bennett did some things, but, they still ran the ball really well. So I think we know we can throw the ball. We know that. But at least take some pressure off of Will Howard's shoulder and be able to run the ball, get a lead, run the ball, and run the clock out. Play great defense.
Who's one player, especially this week against Northwestern, because you may not get a chance in the next 2 games, but who's one player you want to see more of?
I'm a big Cardinal Tate guy.
Okay.
I like that guy on and off the field. Obviously I had a relationship, dealing with him when I was doing NIL and stuff like that. That guy he's just a pro. He gets it. He handles his business. And he's just a really good football player. And I truly think he does all the dirty work. He's one of those receivers that does all the stuff that people don't even see. And he can be a really good wide receiver. He's a complete receiver. So I like to see him get more targets and more production on the ball, too.
Tyvis, it's a big football Friday tomorrow here on The Fan. A.J. Hawk, joining Morning Juice at 8:33. Tim May, Bishop and Friends tomorrow.
Know what I mean?
Brady Quinn of the Big Noon Kickoff. Mm-hmm. What a fun time, by the way, at his the event for Third and Goal Foundation over at High Bank the other night. He joins Rothman and Ice at 12:33. And then your favorite segment of all time, Tool of the Week on Man and Bones tomorrow.
I am not eligible for a nomination.
Tyvis, you are off tomorrow, too. You're actually going to Wrigley, correct?
Yes, the tailgate show.
That's your assignment this week.
Tailgate show will be at Wrigley Field. We start at 10 o'clock, 11 Central Time. 9 Central Time.
Well, that'll be fun. Have safe travels to Chicago, my friend. I hope you enjoy your work. I hope you get to watch Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and then UFC on Saturday as well. It has been a fun show. Glad to have you along. Thursday night football coming up next. It is the Commanders. It is the Eagles. We will be joining that one kickoff at 8:15. It's 97.1 The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Come on over to Heartland.
Now, to run a successful business, you need to develop a strong relationship with your accountant, your attorney, and most importantly, your community banker. If you find it hard to get advice from your bank, maybe it's time to consider Heartland. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Rare banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from classic 3-cheese, pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big with the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
Hi, Timmy Hall here with Ohio State student-athlete, defensive tackle Hero Canoe.
What's up, everyone? Let's talk about something special this holiday season. Nationwide Children's Hospitals Light Up the Lawn campaign.
Join me and Hero and become a hero yourself when you donate to support Nationwide Children's Hospital. The moment you donate, the butterflies on the lawn light up for patients and families to see.
And not only that, with every gift, you are supporting life-saving care and research. Join us in making a difference.
So please, give now at nationwidechildrens.org/give.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
My furnace just went out. Ma'am, have no fear. Dormar is here. We can get that furnace fixed fast. Dormar, you guys are the best.
Dormar, your kind of hero.